They've got an idea, and we'll see.
Okay.
I don't know what their idea is. To me, it doesn't look like the best idea.
Maybe the offlaner pick will convince you.
That's why they're pros, and I'm on the couch. And that's a hero that I feel like should get exploited here. Like, is there... Oh, Monkey's banned. Okay.
Yeah. They did ban for it decently.
You have the freedom here if you are a BB team.
Isn't this a godly morph game?
I was gonna say you have the freedom to not be greedy if you want to, because you do have a TA mid. I mean, the TA could also go versus Tide. That's a really good matchup for TA. However, I think you want that TA Pango matchup. I'm thinking, like what can you pick that can just like dump on this hero?
The only thing I would
Razor? You could just pick a Razor carry here.
Razor could work. I would also like a secondary hero who can maybe jump in. I've said something similar last time. I don't know if Nightfall would want to play a hero like Alchemist. I mean, I think you can play double range with TA and +1, and I kind of play for this mid game, but I would like a hero that can go in. Like mid Earth Spirit or a safe link carry that will like buy a blink in the mid game.
Oh, why not?
His stats aren't updated.
Yeah,
this guy's
a lie.
1.
Run it back.
What makes this better than our suggestions? I mean, we don't have to agree, but I'm trying to understand what's the appeal.
I mean,
you're picking Jug into Muerta.
Jug. I mean, Jug should be good versus Muerta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you do, I think it's 80% magic resistance on Blade Fury. So
yeah,
pop Pierce the Veil, pop Blade Fury, you're good.
I mean, I think you match up very well with your team's mid game. Like when TA is strong, when Axe wants to fight, Jug will help do the same. You got the healing ward, you can go Roche. So I think it's more perhaps for them and just having a chill lane against Tide.
Just like Jug versus Centaur, Jug versus Tide is an old matchup counter.
Yeah. Well,
is it still though?
I don't think
it's pretty good against Pango too. Actually, the Jug, you can just Omni his ass.
That's very.
It is. I think Razor is the best possible pick, but this is Comfort, and I think Comfort beats the best pick almost always. So we'll see. It's a better Jug game than last game. Much better.
They also have more teamfight this time around with the Phoenix later on. So, I mean, I think Shopify have a good draft, but this time I prefer BetBoom. This is a 3-game series.
Yeah, I think Shopify is a pretty average draft, and I'm going to go with that this game.
You think we're going to get another average performance out of Abed?
He always has an average performance.
Pango against Jug, Bane, and Templar Assassin. Let's see if he can pull out another rabbit out of his hat, or if we're going to game number 3 as we get ready on Camp Pandas.
Axe likes this very much.
MMR is just a number.
Prepare for battle.
Thanks.
BetBoom have to be a little bit shook up. They lost the series in the upper bracket against Shopify. Now they go into elimination, lower bracket finals, a game down in this series. But they stick to their guns, Avery. They're going to stick to the Nightfall Juggernaut. And, well, Shopify are also sticking to guns as they pick up the pistol-wielding Muerta.
I like it. I'm not sure why they took it on that slot, though. There's no way BetBoom are going to play this hero. Like, if you're going to take the Furion anyway, why not take the Furion and then hold it? But it won't really matter in the end. They probably would have ended up with the same draft regardless. And it's all about Pangolier. You're talking more. I mean, this is Pango. Pango has been the premier hero of the tournament if you can get your hands on it. We saw Abed pop off last game, so I expect something similar here, though he does have to play into the grip and Juggernaut TA. Not the easiest Pango game, however, that's why you pick Pango, so he can play in anything. We'll see if it proves true. I think BetBoom have a lot more going for them this time around in terms of game security than last time. That last draft was pretty dependent on the game snowballing a bit more for them, and the lanes went even. This time around, they have this Phoenix, they have Axe to pick up some stuns and more utility, not as dependent on a carry like the Legion was, because you have a TA and a Jug to deal with objectives. This lineup's a lot more straightforward. You just go in, drop the Phoenix spells, should have a good team fight. Grip for the Pangolier. There's not a lot of counterplay from Shopify, other than they're just jumping you first or building snowball momentum off the Furion. Tidehunter going in with all of his utility. Maybe he can just tank up the Omni Slash and some of the meld hits, but sounds difficult. I don't know. I feel like if BetBoom get Roshans in this game, they're going to win. So Shopify need to put themselves in a position where they stop that objective falling to the Templar Assassin Juggernaut.
So once again, looking to be able to win the lanes, get some momentum, secure those Roshans for yourself. Matchup-wise, though, Pango, the Templar Assassin, as a counterpick to Pango in the mid lane. Are you confident about that?
It does fine. I think Pango can get out of this lane, but TA should definitely free farm it for the most part. One murky area is if you get killed by Rolling Thunder or something. And if either hero gets roamed on, can get pretty spicy for sure with the level advantage. But otherwise, I expect it to be pretty even here. Abed getting the upper hand early on. Good sign for him.
Early damage. Some stats for you. Pango is 15 games in DreamLeague. Very often, first phase, 60% win rate.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good for a first phase, first pick hero.
Yeah.
He's probably been literally first pick every one of those. I doubt his hero has gotten through to second phase, so that is a very good win rate for an absolute first pick. And there's a reason teams are favoring it.
Now, what about another matchup? They were talking about the Juggernaut pick against... Ooh, dive in, dive away, die. Fly.
Straight back to top.
Gets first blood and TP's away, yeah. So, it's the advantage of having a Furion. The laning phase, straight up, he's good at being able to win your lane, but he's even better at being able to win somebody else's lane.
A nice little start for him, especially with the first blood. It's going to propel him into a fast earn. And if you start getting those charges, then your kill threat becomes that much better. That's the trajectory Fly is trying to get towards here. Morta is also a very strong laner, though. It's not generally here you just want to leave alone, because she gets kind of abused in the 2-on-1s a lot of time. In the 2-on-2, she's very strong, so you enjoy fighting with her. That's going to be one downside here. Whenever Fly leaves the lane, Arteezy will become a bit susceptible to just getting forced off of the creep waves. So far, he's doing fine.
Which means, like, being able to have the pull available to you is super important, and they do have that.
Yep. So these lanes are once again going cruisingly for Shopify Rebellion, as they are not going to get outlaned by BetBoom this series, that is for sure. Bringing the heat, it's going to come down to the mid game. I also like this Phoenix Morta matchup. I think Phoenix is one of the better supports versus hero. So people always talk about, oh, you can like double shoot versus the egg and this type of nonsense. But at the end of the day, Phoenix has an AoE attack slow that can always go into you, as well as just going in the fight and disrupting it with egg and taking some of the time away from those shots. And I feel like that is decent enough value to justify the matchup a lot of times. And there's the roam. Abed happy about that one.
Abed was already putting a lot of pressure. They were pretty even on CS, but when it comes to the trade-off on regen, Abed was really putting the screws to GBK, and then that sets up the rotation from Shopify. They're perfectly fine with leaving this Tidehunter alone in this lane.
It's going to be another good start for Abed, and Shopify should prioritize him here. This is a lane that's very gankable, especially when you have the Furion. You put the TA behind, it's going to be ancient catch-up duty for GBK, and that just means Abed's going to be able to rotate to maybe some of the other lanes and return the favor. SabeRLight will escape.
Yeah, he's got boots, so it won't be too badly harmed by the fact he has to TP back to the fountain. You talked about the Phoenix versus Muerta matchup. How do you feel about the Juggernaut versus Muerta matchup? That was, I mean, they chose, there was a lot of different ideas, right? They could have done TA safe lane or mid. They had a lot of different cores available to them. They opted for the Juggernaut. Do you feel like this is a good hero against Muerta? Because the stats do not back it up. The pub stats.
I mean, generally no, because Juggernaut ultimately is about Omni Slash, and Omni Slash versus Muerta is pretty sad. I guess the rest of his kit is pretty good. So if you have a secondary carry, maybe that helps a lot. Going in and abusing spin in the healing ward, probably pretty decent. But I wouldn't care about playing against Jug as Muerta, honestly. I think there's worse you can play against, so in that sense, you're probably happy. Like, I think Muerta cares more about her counter matchups than the Jug does. Jug is a hero that you're just going to play Jug.
Sure.
Nightfall will have his way. I do think these side lanes are better for BetBoom than game 1-2. They're a bit stronger, and the scaling potential over the course of the lane's a bit better. Like, I don't see Nightfall getting forced out of this lane with this Tide Venge that, I mean, the Venge has been rotating too. And then you have Axe. I think Axe is going to continue to power up on top, especially when the Vanguard timing. You're not really touching him with Muerta Furion. Furion is really bad versus these Vanguard heroes.
Yeah,
always has been.
Kira's already having a much better laning phase.
Yep. So
in
that is
Legion Commander lane.
That's the big difference here. You're gonna have a lot more tempo out of Pure this game, and we've seen especially these Eastern European offlaners just go off with Axe. It's in their wheelhouse for sure.
Most notable performance at this tournament would be Collapse for sure.
Yeah, even going back to the old days, you know, it's like DK Phobos and stuff. These guys they're all Axe mains. I just love it. And even SabeRLight is an Axe main. That's his favorite hero.
Is it?
Yep. I know, because when I played with him for a brief stint, he begged me to pick it every single game.
That's right.
And I never did.
Rotation from behind. Crit shows himself from the high ground. Advantage of being dire side there and makes a very easy kill on GPK. And they're going to turn it into 2 as Save tried to even the odds, but it's still a 2 versus 3. And they will lose that side of things. Now they TP in the Phoenix late, but creeps have already died. Abed is already a level 7.
This is everything Shopify want out of mid right now. They're snowballing a Pangolier. Their Furion, perhaps having the best start for a support Furion we've seen the entire tournament. Fly is an absolute monster right now. He's 5.5 on the levels. Wow. Double earn charge off that. This is before Wisdom Runes come out. I guess he got the half off the Wisdom, but this is crazy high level for support Furion. Exactly where you want to be, because the extra Sprout levels plus this earn is going to create a tremendous amount of kill threat on the map right now.
So better side lanes for BetBoom, but a worse matchup in the mid. Seems that
and supports. It's another game where I feel like the BetBoom supports are just not having the game flow they want.
Yeah. Oh, cut down the wrong tree, but that's okay. The fear came from the shot, ends up breaking down the tree, so
that was a
way out.
Totally normal
he
behavior.
Goes back in, not wanting to lose these creeps, but he'll lose his life if he's not careful. Trying to use the battle hunger for the extra movement speed, but Arteezy should have the damage. Vanguard helps, but it won't do that much.
Well, I guess he did not respect the earn charges here on Fly. They get the job done. He gets 2 more off that, and his ult is already up. Expect another fight for this rune right now.
Another heavy rotation for Power Rune. Shopify put, I mean, maybe this is just part of the flow of having your supports have a successful laning phase, but they just seem to be bringing a lot more numbers to the Power Rune fights.
It's because it's what BetBoom's been doing. This team's done their research.
Yeah.
TORONTOTOKYO's been winning almost all those rune battles for BetBoom the entire tournament. If you just match them on the numbers, it's... I mean, there's only so much skill that can go into a rune battle, right? You should be able to match them there and not, at least not fall behind. Right now, Shopify pulling ahead. Nature's Wrath not doing exactly what they wanted it to here.
Yeah, not enough damage, and now Nightmare. Now Abed is going to be perfectly fine. He does get the kill on TORONTOTOKYO on his way out.
That was a good expression from Toronto. It was a nice little one of those. Damn this man.
Damn this man or damn this hero?
No, this man. Abed's heating him up right now. No way around it.
Abed ate plenty in that game 1. Seems like he's still hungry for more. Off to a great start in this game 2. Top net worth in the game.
Still hasn't died in the entire series. Worth noting. Sometimes that just gets in your head. Guy starts to feel untouchable. Playing on another level. It's going to be this Axe Blink to try and shift the tides right now, as your Juggernaut's going to be doing Juggernaut things and farming the whole game, so it will likely come down to Pure to take the fights, defend the areas, and enable the supports, most importantly. You're looking at Phoenix Bane. How do you get in there and use these spells off of any engagement? It's got to be the Axe going in.
Yeah.
Is this more Ancient stealing? Oh, this feels super good for Shopify if you get away with it. But yeah, they do not want to let you get away with it right here.
They're going to take the life of Crit and then go back to the Ancient. Shopify will let them have it this time.
That's a hard invasion into the TA traps. A very tough go. Crit will pay the price.
And also the levels are there for BetBoom. Phoenix is now level 6, so big team fight abilities.
Cannot overextend in this type of game. Very easy to overextend. Got to play it a little, maybe conservative if you're Shopify. I feel like how most of these Muerta lineups function a bit. You just got to wait for her timings. Make sure to set the fights up so that Arteezy can come in and clean the plate.
I like that priority. You have a Templar Assassin and a Juggernaut, but they give the Ancient stack to the Pure Axe. I mean, you have 2 carries. When you have that kind of greediness, you really need to make sure that your one playmaker is actually fit for duty. And being able to get Vanguard Blink Dagger pretty quickly is a big part of that.
You say they gave it to him.
I think it's one of those.
Could have also taken it.
I think he asked for forgiveness, not for permission.
Old Toronto-Tokyo, don't tell him. Yo, Nightfall, we got some stacks for you, man. Don't worry about Don't worry about it, man. They're waiting for you.
He's going to make sure in like 2 minutes time to like double stack. And he's like, yeah, see, the stack is here.
One. Oh, Abed must have stolen him. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it was that Pango invasion earlier, really. Speaking of that Pango, Diffuse a Blade, going to be up very quickly as he's doing his own stacks. Maelstrom done for the Muerta, so big damage dealing items up for Shopify Rebellion.
His Tide slowly knocking this tower down. Hammer gonna allow SabeRLight to come back. Doesn't need the stacks if he can get the objectives. It's a rush to these big skirmish items. You got the blink on Axe. More importantly, you got the defusal pretty much finished on Abed here. And you almost have a Vessel done on Fly. These are really big and powerful items for these early fights if you get it going, if you're Shopify, especially with Wave of Terror going through. A lot of long-range poke, right? You're gonna get hit by Wave of Terror, Diffusal, Swashbuckle, and a Wrath of Nature, potentially a Vessel thrown on top of you. So they're gonna jump first.
Pango, this is a big kill. Jump forward from GPK, but the Ravage comes through. SabeRLight to save his mid laner. Abed yet to die.
Just didn't commit enough. It's like they weren't ready for the jump. GPK's not in there. You only get one Fire Spirit out. There's no Brain Sap, no grip.
Yeah, I think the extra commitment there definitely was Toronto-Tokyo. Could have used Egg, right?
Sure. Or you just play it a little more patient, but you know, you see the opening, you got to take it and swap ready from crit, get the extra damage reduction. Big deal for the Pangolier in this game. That to me is the really annoying part about Pango in this patch. Is the hero puts you in a position where you have to jump him. You feel like you have to jump him first.
Yeah.
And it makes these lineups with saves built in that much more straightforward to play. It makes your saves so much better. Like swap on the Pango this game is just teamfight winning every time. And there's not many heroes in the meta that do that. I mean, the Phantom Assassin is definitely another one. You know, you save Phantom Assassin, you just win the fight. If you save Pangolier, you might also win you the fight.
GPK, oh, he used the Tumbler toy to hop up the cliff to go farm this hard camp, and then blinks away after the smoke reveal of Shopify Rebellion. A little two-man wrecking crew attempted.
Trying to put that defusal to use. Will not get the fight, and it's a nice mid-tower defense here from BetBoom, trying to hold their side of the map against this Tide Furion lineup. It's going to result in their cores all recovering pretty nicely here. I mean, GPK has definitely not had his Ancient priority, but he went the blink. He's able to fight early. And Pure, he's really eyeing this Blade Mail, and that's what's going to bring the fight together for BetBoom. They can line up all their ults with this Blade Mail. I don't think he wants to go for another Blade Mail-less jump. I think it's just too risky. The damage follow-up's not fast enough, right? Unless GPK is willing to blink in with him. You have to be able to kill who he goes on. Otherwise, Ravage is going to heavily punish you here.
Fly took away their Wisdom Rune.
A damn nice one to take. That cheeky Furion. Still got Vessel charges as well. I mean, if I'm Fly, I would really like a fight to break out. I don't think you want to force it if you're Shopify, but if you casually get dragged into one where it's the Tide Hunter tanking all the action, might end up working pretty decently for you. And sure, yeah, this type of move is pretty good because you're either going to get that casual fight onto your beefy frontliner, or you're going to force a reaction on BetBoom and get a free objective while your two carries are farming the map. Kind of like what's happening here for Shopify, and it's just going to be this move out of BetBoom that maybe swings this game. Pure Blade Mail, getting that smoke through, double damage on GPK as well right now. Gives you a lot more burst damage and fighting power. But you're giving up some map control in exchange.
See, I was going to say, I like what's going on for BetBoom. It feels like this is, like it's a much better pace for compared to game one, right? Even net worth, they're not getting run over. And they simultaneously have kind of like almost a greedier lineup. They have double carry, right? Whereas last time it felt like the Juggernaut had to take the game all on his own. Now, this could change and, you know, maybe Shopify run over them, but at least for right now, I feel like the pace of the game is really good for BetBoom.
It's definitely good for Nightfall. I think GPK is probably pretty happy about it as well.
Yeah.
I think if there's anybody suffering, it's probably supports, because normally Toronto-Tokyo would, I think he'd just be pushing some lane super deep with the Phoenix here and getting really fat, right? But he just hasn't had the space, and the early tier 1s going down to the Tide have constricted it a bit. You're also afraid of this Furion TPing on you, just dying to him +1 here. So that's, I think TORONTOTOKYO is not feeling too great about his scaling this game. He doesn't need much, but normally he'd be a lot fatter. And it'll be a third tier 1 going down as Tidehunter will claim another objective, another soul for the anchor.
Radiant's top tower
I don't think the towers have souls.
What the hell?
is under attack.
Yeah, they do.
Automatons.
No, they actually do.
I don't believe you. You can't fool me on this. There's no way you know tower lore.
No, their artifices connect to the Ancient's willpower. So technically they share part of the soul.
All right, that's a stretch and a half.
That's not stretch and a half. That's lore, baby.
Dire's bottom tower
Can't argue with the truth, Austin. You got caught with your hand in the lore jar. Now you look like a fool.
There's only raisin oatmeal cookies in that lore jar. I didn't want any of them.
Rules for fly. So looking to counteract this axe jump and cancel for the grip.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting pickup. You're telling me that's not the face of a man with a soul as
He dies!
Ooh.
The god can bleed. Abed finally dies in the series from a cute little smoke move there from GP can save, putting the Bane to use.
That was a really good smoke. They're gonna get good vision off it, steal some Ancients, get the best target they could have hoped for off of very low committal, just a grip and a Deso charge for GPK.
They jump onto the axe here. They do have Furion in the side, but they are ultimately just going to be lacking in damage. Tried to go for the Calling Blade. It was a fair attempt. He was hoping the damage would be enough. Not the case. Swap back into the silence and then followed up with the fear. That's a nice little combo. It does net them a position 5. TORONTOTOKYO Phoenix.
This game's heating up a little bit. Both teams looking for the pickoff. They have the damage online now.
Oh, and look at that. They're going to do Roshan early again on Shopify.
Yeah, why not? You have the Venge.
Got the Venge. Muerta's pretty good at doing it, and Pango's quite good.
I mean, Abed died, and he's like, guys, I need Aegis. This is
Unacceptable.
I don't like this feeling.
Better have less than 1 death average in this series. That is actually the funniest mischaracterization. If Abed, the shyest and quietest of all the pro players, is actually just a tyrant in the game on the team.
Wouldn't surprise me.
They're still going for it.
It's just such a tough kill.
Yeah.
You're just going to need a break at some point. It's going to be Silver Edge, either the TA or the Jug, that really opens that kill up. Then you're going to have to think about it a lot more, your SabeRLight. But for now, you're a beast. This Yules is really risky, man. Because the thing about Furion is the strength you bring as a hero is the extra farm you're getting off the map and what that translates to in terms of the 5-on-5 team fight. Your items really have to be on point. You have to get value out of them because your spells are just not that impactful. And you can basically go for any item in the game. I mean, the Ags is probably the most reliable in terms of just getting extra root off your ult. So when he's going something like Yules here, you really got to make it work. And it's a hard item to make work on the hero a lot of times. Even if you get gripped, let's say you grip somebody, you TP and you Yules the Bane. That takes a while.
Yeah.
Right? That's like 3 seconds. The grip for 3 seconds might be enough.
Now, do you agree with the Yules in theory? Because I think it's the best and perhaps only answer to help the Muerta against Axe.
Yeah, it's very good versus Axe. Again, though, it's about positioning. A lot of times Furion isn't there
Right.
at the start. That's why I think saying it's a hard item to use on the Furion. You kind of need to not abuse your teleport as much and be there on these smoke plays. Be there for the fights. And if you're not there, this item just falls very flat. So we'll see if Fly can put it to use. I mean, of course, you can always build into something like a Wind Waker or Ultra Late. Counteract some of the single target jump that BetBoom have, but that's a long way away. Whereas, you know, something just like Lotus Orb here, for example, or Pipe, Ags, more reliable. That's why it's an interesting item choice. If it pays off, it'll pay off big. If it falls,
And quickly become a useless item if you get to a point where he hasn't done anything with it, and then we get BKB completed for Pure, which is what he's working on.
I even think there was a world where like Orchid was on the board too. Just jump in and Orchid Sprout one of the supports. Pretty obnoxious.
Sure.
Silences and Dispels pretty nice for versus what BetBoom are packing here.
Manta's all around, huh? Manta for Abed, so that'll help him. A little bit of Dispel action. Also, additional way to be able to tank up the Juggernaut Omni Slash. Help him be able to disjoint meld hits like this. And he's getting a lot. Oh, Pure jumped in on that one. Did not get the call on crit, which is who he was looking for. Instead, grabs 2 cores, but his team wasn't there just yet. Now they are. With the egg pop, but Shopify are already able to disengage. Sure, they pick up crit in the end, but I don't think that was really the entrance that Pure had in mind. Would have loved to be able to bring down that Aegis or something, but...
Still okay with this. I mean, GPK continuing to heat up. He'll finish his full Hurricane Pike here. You gotta remember, this TA is the most farmed hero in this game right now. Off a slow start, he eventually got there. He's been given a lot of lane creep priority. Very big. And they're not finding the skirmishes with the Pango. No. I mean, your Aegis is almost expired here. You got what with it, right? You got a Wisdom Rune. That's it. Abed just not finding too much action off of a fast start. Now this is, I think, is feeling pretty rough for Shopify, right? I don't think you're getting what you want out of this time period. You're stronger. You have the Aegis. You have this Pangolier who wants to force the action before big breaks or big BKBs, late game items come out for BetBoom, and they're just going to pummel you with the physical damage.
It is funny seeing Shopify Rebellion being on the receiving end of a game slowing down and watching the enemy team just be able to out-farm them a bit.
What are you implying there, son?
Oh, it's their part of their MO for a long time. Win lanes. Muerta. I mean, you talked about game 1, BetBoom having faith in the Juggernaut to be able to carry them late. 6 items. Feels like now Shopify have to have that same discussion. If they're not able to run over BetBoom like I think they're hoping to in this period of time, GPK, he's out. Then do you have faith in the Muerta to be able to still carry this game in 10, 15 minutes time when it's still going on? Because it doesn't look like it's going to close out early, not with the current pace.
It seems pretty hard. I think there will be a timing where Arteezy can win the team fights. And if you get that next Roshan, it can look pretty solid for you, but at the current pace, not really. And I mean, you're going up against a Jug and a TA here. I think it's too much for them Muerta to fight through. Pangolier can do some, but you are going to have to play into this grip. You potentially just have some double axe call in the late game with BKBs going in. There's not much BKB interrupt from this lineup. Those are the concerns. But right now, you are still very strong in the straight 5-on-5 with this Ravage, as well as Dead in the Water here. Anchor, no joke, locking these heroes down.
Smoke forward.
Really good angle.
With this timing, with this gem, they kill the Phoenix right away, and with the Anchor, they'll lock down the Bane. No core kills out of it, though.
You get a DD. Pretty nice follow-up here for Abed. It's not too bad. Ravage for 2. Take over the Ancients, get a rune. But all 3 cores dodging the fight and working towards what will be a BKB for Pure and a BKB for GPK. That's going to be the big signal to start taking the fights. Try and line it up with one of Nightfall's big items.
And they have that BKB coming in on the Axe, I believe, already. Arteezy will bring down that mid-tier 2. Taking the outpost away.
You want to pick up the space if you're Shopify. Yeah, if BetBoom are just going to farm with 5 heroes, then you better start picking some people off.
I think they know that GPK is doing this right now. It's a little hard to get there.
Oh, they got it.
Yeah, he stole it away. Really good use of the swashbuckle there to claim the last hit on the Tormentor. Fight correct underneath the tier 2. Pure is able to get a Culling Blade onto the Vengeful Spirit, and they got the grip on the Pango. Perfect stuff. A Shopify trying way too hard to take that fight between towers. Very awkward.
Second that sentry comes down, that fight's pretty much done. Arteezy just gets slept, and you have to bail him out with the swap, and Abed with the completely wrong read there in terms of who's going in and what's happening as Grip just feeds away a second kill for this Pango. Might have stolen the Tormentor, but he did not steal our hearts.
That is deathless spree taken away from him, and now a second death added on top of that. 7-11. Just 1,000 net worth lead for Shopify. But again, they're in a situation where they are the ones with a pretty much single carry. And BetBoom only getting stronger on both a Juggernaut and a Templar Assassin. And I think they're at a point where they no longer need to dodge fights. I think they can actually contest this next Roshan, which is... That's going to be scary for Shopify.
I think it's BetBoom's to take. They're going to have the BKBs on these two cores, and they're going to have Butterfly on the Jug. It's just such a strong timing here.
Yeah.
You don't have control for these BKBs. If you're Shopify, you're just going to ignore everything. What are you supposed to do? Who's standing their ground? Very tough. And remember what I said, I feel like if BetBoom get Roshans this game, they're favored to win it for sure.
Yeah.
Because fighting into Aegis with the Muerta, dependent on her ult, and dependency on Ravage here to start the whole fight, it just sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, you already have enough problems because there's 2 different carries you need to be able to target. And there's a question of whether or not Muerta is just going to run out of damage or time on her ultimate. If you have a third hero to contend with via Aegis,
Too much.
Yeah, probably going to be too much for this hero, but we'll see. Butterfly is complete for the Juggernaut. It's a big pickup. Limited time, though, where that's going to be effective against the Muerta anyway, because Arteezy is already halfway to an MKB. But timing is everything here. They've hit their BKB windows. They've got the Butterfly before the MKB, and it's time for that Roshan.
Hags just delivered for Abed. Trying to meet this timing head on. You get a good Rolling Thunder, might just win you this Roshan fight, but it has to be a full duration one that connects with this Ags, giving you the max value here. You get gripped on the Pango and slain. Fight's just over. A second 5-man smoke here from TORONTOTOKYO. Smoke on smoke. Who gets the jump?
Break the smoke. Here, he's going to jump in first. Supernova already going to be used, so no chance for a Ravage, it looks like. They're just going to have to leave Crit behind. But if Shopify can reset here, it's not the worst. That was some commitment from BetBoom just to be able to get a support. Unfortunately, Crit does not have buyback for Shopify, so they may have to contend with a 4 versus 5 for control over this Roshan pit.
They got Egg and a BKB. That's it. Fly did steal another Wisdom Rune. Man, they have just been taking every single one off BetBoom's side of the map, so that's something.
Look,
and you still have Ravage, Rolling Thunder here.
BetBoom going in with such confidence into the pit, trying to get some vision off of the Meteor Hammer. SabeRLight faking the Ravage. Spin's going to go out now. A little bit
walking
early.
in.
Yeah, so SabeRLight's going to try and contest for this Aegis, and with the BKB, use the Ravage now. Can he grab it? Aegis on deck, and he gets it just in time. Problem is now Abed's going to be in trouble with the Fiend's Grip on the Rolling Thunder. Juggernaut's dying, though. Call goes out. Interception by Pure, just what they need. A Yule Scepter to protect Arteezy. Barely stays alive, but oh, he actually got him in the end. The TA trap, that was the last little bit required. Sure, they stopped Pure's TP back, but it's BetBoom who have already won the fight off of the kill on the carry, and now they're going to run down whatever heroes are left. Crit, last one left alive. 4 heroes. Yeah, they didn't get the Aegis, but they still got 4 hero kills, and they took away the gem from Shopify.
Arteezy kicked out to a TA trap for the last 45 damage there. That just feels bad, but I feel like that fight is already over, right? Even with SabeRLight snatching the Aegis, it's the same setup. The grip on the Pango just decides it.
Yep.
Save's positioning way too good here. Nothing to stop it. And this is the problem with leading the fight with Ravage. You can't cancel the grip with your AoE stun later on. And you can't kill him through the BKB, so you don't have a choice. That's just way too hard to cancel this.
There was this moment where Nightfall, I thought he was going to die, but what a save from Pure. And you can see that Blade Mail shreds the Muerta. Even as the Yules comes in from Fly pretty quickly, the damage has already been done.
That's why that Yules, it's really hard to get the max value out of it here. That was a pretty good one, but it's not enough to keep their heroes up. And yeah, Save 2 big plays in that fight. Really secured that engagement for BetBoom, showing why he's perhaps the best Bane in the world right now, though I don't know if that's a title you really want.
Yeah. At the end of the day, being remembered as a Bane player.
That will be your legacy.
Sure, you win millions of dollars, but
He did it on Bane. It's disgusting. Why do people hate that hero? I like that hero.
skill issue.
True.
You could see the confidence growing for BetBoom. First able to play for the Roshan, basically win it, even if they don't get the Aegis. And now, just confidently jumping on a Tidehunter. The fear helps out a little bit. Nightfall gets off the Manta.
Bounces, man.
Flash. It just stuck onto that poor Vengeful Spirit. Crit. And no help from Fly or Arteezy when it came to the Omni Slash bounces.
They're still getting chased here. You gotta be wary of this Bane. He's got Force Staff, Aether, Psychic Headband.
They're gonna catch up to Fly.
It's just not enough to stand your ground right now if you're Shopify. You don't have any big auras to really do it. It's all in this single target utility, and none of it helps Abed go in. You just need the Lotus Orb or Lincolns or something to throw on this Pangolier right now, so Abed can commit to the engagement and turn it for you. Right now, it's all BetBoom, and their carries are online, man. Both of them are well ahead of the pack. 4 or 5K leads for the Templar Assassin and the Juggernaut. Still have that cheese on GPK as well. Never even had to use it this whole time. So that'll be high ground without an Aegis. They're going to push it. You're going to need to jump with this Ravage and get a really good burst on a core.
Yeah, you got to get some brilliant chain stun. Surprise them with the Ravage, then chain it with the Rolling Thunder.
I mean, there's only 2 ways to fight if you're Shopify. You're either going in with the Ravage, committing everything on a big core target, or you're holding the Ravage to try and bail out the grip on the Pango. But that's pretty much it. I don't think there's another route you can take. And a lot of that's dependent on how deep Arteezy can get as well. That's sometimes the issue with Morta is, can you get the hero into the fight in a good enough position to just pop your ult and hit the guy who's getting stunned? It's very easy to go in with a Ravage, stun a core target, and by the time Morta starts hitting them, your Ravage is out. Yags for pure, just more damage. And there's the break. This is a very pivotal item for BetBoom. Now your Tidehunter, he's just going to disappear, man.
He already died pretty quickly when they jumped on him earlier in the river. Throw a break on top of that one. They're going to pass over the cheese to Pure, so look for that on his initiation on the Muerta.
In fact, it's double break, right? We have the Silver Edge for Nightfall as well.
Yeah.
This is just brutal for SabeRLight. Gonna have to play a lot more defensively, which means your opportunities to get good Ravages or to provide the vision for your team go out the window. What?
Arteezy has hit a peak for Muerta, which is that 20 talent alongside the
It's a big
damage of the MKB.
Really big talent. It's one of the strongest carry talents in the game. No way around it. You have to be able to get the hits, though.
Yeah, you also have to... Like, that is added damage, which in a way makes the axe even stronger. Call to lock down SabeRLight as he tries to Ogre Seal Totem his way out of an Omni Slash. It doesn't work.
This map is just collapsing. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Double Silver Edge carry are going to find you. Save is just going to run around solo smoke, set it for whatever the hell he wants. And what are you even farming here if you're Shopify? I mean, what is the big turnaround item, right? Bash or Pango to help deal with the BKBs, but damage-wise, it's all on Arteezy. No one else is really going to be scaling up the damage in this game. And it goes back to the issue of, can Morta kill all 3 of these cores? Sounds pretty tough. I wish him the best.
Sounds near impossible. 8 seconds for that ultimate to work. Always the biggest downside of Muerta. Not like a TV, that meta lasts a long time compared to Pierce the Veil. You got to get a lot done in a very limited period, and BetBoom are putting the pressure on Shopify to make a mistake here as they just hit the high ground. And Shopify do not want to stop. Oh, nice catch.
They finally trapped the Wisdom Rune that Fly has stolen every single time this game. Did get another one, but will finally pay a price for it as
take all that experience, but then you just give it right back with the death.
They were sick of this happening. Save will be rewarded with the shard. feels like you have one fight left if you're Shopify here.
Yeah, how does Arteezy do damage to Nightfall?
He right clicks.
BKB and spin.
Right click him a lot.
Okay.
No, it's just unfair.
I mean, you don't. Right. That's the straightforward answer. You got to kill the axe when he goes in. That's what you're trying to do if you're Shopify, which he also has BKB, so I don't know, man. It's tough. It's a very tough position. This lineup does not function too well from behind.
You know, similar to BetBoom in game 1, how we said, you know, some of their high ground hold is going to come from the support. That was in TORONTOTOKYO's Enchantress. In this game, I think crit swap back is going to be the only way that Shopify really turn around that high ground siege when it comes.
Was Steve just yawning?
Yeah, probably. Guys,
God damn.
I had to wake up early for this series.
Putting myself to sleep with this one.
Smoke is going to break. Shopify, get the Ravage.
You should have been sleeping.
Swap back onto the axe, half health, but he had the cheese. With the BKB, doesn't take much damage. Arteezy's trying, and he is leading into Nightfall. Nightfall's got to be careful, and he gets off the Omni Slash onto Abed. Abed can't get rid of it until last second. He passes over to the Tidehunter, and it's the Tide who dies instead. A call to chase after Arteezy. Doesn't quite get him, though. Flight's going to slow him down with his shard. That's going to help a lot as Arteezy still trying to get out with his Shadow Blade.
They scanned him. They don't see him.
Only
Dust
a few more
missed.
seconds.
Dust misses. GB Game might spot him, though, with a Silver Edge.
He just knows. He knows where he is.
Oh, he runs right into him.
Read him like a book.
MMR is just a number.
Reads him like a book and shreds him like paper.
That fight is... That's so tough. It looks so good for Shopify, too. You're not going to get much better of a jump. You catch the Bane first. No grit for Abed. Opens up the Rolling Thunder. The Phoenix dies. It forces a buyback out of TORONTOTOKYO. But then what, right? All three cores are just so damn big, and that Omni Slash did not get disjointed with the Manta. Now, Abed. Oh, yeah, it's such a good game 1, but here it is just falling apart.
And they committed. That was all in for Shopify in that last fight. They committed. They bought a BKB, which means no buyback for Arteezy, which now means Mega is going to be taken by BetBoom. Shopify,
yeah, that's just it.
They're going to call it here. There's no doubt. This game is over, which is great. It means we're going to have a game 3 in the BetBoom versus Shopify Rebellion series. And with the distance, the upper bracket, it'll go the distance in the lower bracket.
Going back to the roots, I think a bit more. Not too focused on the single target, getting a hero for TORONTOTOKYO that is very comfortable playing the fight.